Evening, guys. Fitpocalypse. We went over some shooting at the range the other day, and after a range shoot, normally I like to get some upkeep and some cleaning on my firearms. So today, I'll be going over the 1911. Just again, simple breakdown, making sure it's clear. Cleaning, kind of what I use. Again, being on a budget, dad of two, husband, working a 9 to 5. We're gonna get this just kind of cleaned up and ready to go for carrying around as we need. So one of the first things I'm gonna do, and my favorite things to get for cleaning, Q-tips. I got my own little range cleaner right here. A little bit of lubricant, good old nylon brush, a couple extra foam, or not foam, brass brushes. Don't really have one right now on me in a 45 caliber, but I've got one that is a nylon one for cleaning up the bore a little bit. I've got a couple of copper ones as well if I have some really big buildup of lead and copper if I need to. Overall, it's going to be kind of plain and simple. I'm just going over the breakdown. Got your recoil spring catch there. You got your barrel guide right here. So what I'm going to do, just kind of save on some limbs and fingertips. I'll push this down. You want to spin that to the left. Okay? Be careful. It's a pretty tight spring underneath. So once I get that to the left, because it's going to swing all the way over like that, I'm going to release that. Eases the tension on the slide. And then I'm going to line here in regards to the release, this little notch right there. I'll put that in line like that. On this side, with my Zombie 1911, we're going to push this button in to then release this retention pin. Just going to slide it straight out, call it good. Now that the barrel has been released on the inside, and you'll see what I mean in a second, slide everything out. That is your retention loop for the barrel. And as you can see, I'm going to slide this back out, and I can pull the recoil spring right on out. What I'm then going to do is I'm going to take this barrel guide, come back the other way. It'll stop itself. And that's because there's a groove on the inside here for this right there. And then the barrel with this hole pointed down will then just slide right out the front like so. And that's the breakdown of a 1911 for field stripping and cleaning. I don't mess around with the lower too much, but I am going to clean up around it where I have all this nice lead and carbon buildup. So again, just taking a nylon brush, running through, getting that feed ramp kind of down into here, brushed up and cleaned up. I'm gonna make sure I definitely clean up around the hammer as well. Just again, cleans it off. I'm gonna drop the hammer. Again, never let it slam forward. I'm gonna take it, I'm just gonna run it forward till it's all the way up. I get a little bit of dirt and fiber there, because when I carry, I'm always carried cocked. Gets just some dust buildup. Again, run my brush through, clean it nice and good. And again, my favorite friend of all time is Mr. Q-tip. Guys, you literally don't need to do anything fancy when it comes to cleaning kits. A little bit of a Q-tip, see? Getting that off there. I like running down any kind of metal on metal contact. Just kind of clean up the dust and the carbon. Right up on the inside here. Again, inside the mag well too. Magazines will get dirty, and they will leave dirt and carbon and lead. Okay, it's not too hard. Get that done. Kind of brush around the trigger a little bit, just again, keeping the dust off, making sure everything's able to function. Right, I personally get around the grip as well, just to kind of keep the wood nice. Get up into that safety as well on the underside here. Q-tip. Again, not much. And I'm gonna call it that. As far as the barrel goes, because that's where most of your lead and carbon are gonna build up, obviously. I like to just run this in, back and forth. Let it roll with the threads. Where's that camera? Let it roll with the rifling. Some people prefer going one way only. I've never noticed a difference. I'm a simple guy. Even in the military, back and forth, just giving it a good brushing. If I have an excess buildup, I'll use a copper brush. Other than that, looks good and decent. Get off the feed ramp here. Again, Q-tips are my best friend when it comes to most cleaning. It's never hard. Get a little bit into the eyelet there. Come around it. And what I will do too, actually put off a little bit of paper towel or regular towel, cloth. Some people use cloth towels, paper towels. Just give it a little wipe down over the top. I clean off, again, give it a little rub down on the outside for your spring retainer. Just kind of get up on the inside there a little bit. Pretty dirty. Not that it's a big deal to make sure that this is super clean. Again, the only thing it's doing is holding your spring in place on the inside of the 1911. Give that a clean. Same with the spring. Give it a wipe down. You can pull the rod off. Give that a little wipe as well. This one is hollow all the way through. Two. And run a little Q-tip through it. Get kind of up in the corner here, along that edge, right there. Barrel guide, again, kind of ring around the inside of it. Give it a little wipe down. Call it good. Now for the upper slide, the slide, not the upper, you're definitely going to get a lot more buildup off of it, because everything that's magical about this firearm is happening up there. All the firing, hitting the primer, things of that nature. You can break this down a little bit more, but we'll go into it in depth probably a little bit later. I'm going to run a Q-tip through everything again that has any kind of metal on metal contact, and you guys can see where you're going to have a little bit of carbon buildup right around here. Definitely on the bolt face there. Just an example. Get you a clean one. Clean Q-tip. Off the slide face there, I'm just going to rub it back and forth. Not so much to clean it, but to show you guys how much can build up right on that face. So it's always good. I take the small side, run the brush right into it, especially getting under the extractor right there. Get underneath that. Really clean it up good. Give it a good scrub. Again, if you have excess buildup, copper brushes are a good way to go. I do have a dental pick as well, just kind of scrape off the carbon buildup as well. So, fun fact about the 1911 as I'm cleaning away, was actually a work in progress back with his 1902 platform, which again, over time in development, created the 1903 Hammer Down, created the 1905, the 1907, and the 1909. The original idea from the 1909 platform with the U.S. Army was actually given by the cavalry of, hey, we want a grip safety. Wasn't originally John Moses Browning's idea. So that was an interesting little fact about it. So John Moses Browning was like, yeah, no problem. And ended up making it work anyway, which is, again, pretty nice little feature to it, especially if you do have young ones or littles around, making sure nothing goes off negligently. So cleaning all the way. A couple little fun facts to it. And actually the direct military, yeah, see, still pretty dirty. Apparently one of the contract companies that put in with the Colt 1911 platform, or as we know it today, was actually from Savage Automatic Pistol. Yeah, wasn't much information on that, at least off of my brief research. It's a little late at night, so I'm gonna try to present to you guys some good stuff, knowledge. I try to, at least, different perspective. But the Savage and the 1911 were up for the bid back in 1910. Bunch of, testing and testing and testing. Apparently, the Savage was actually more accurate and lighter weight and carried more rounds than the 1911. All good things, especially when you're looking at, slinging bullets in a battlefield. But the one thing that really set it apart from the Savage was that after 6,000 rounds in that final test between the Savage and the 1911, was the fact that this went through 6,000 rounds non-stop and continued to function without any failures. The Savage arms had a notorious problem of jamming and everything else like that. Ended up having like 37 jams. I mean, 6,000 rounds is quite a bit. And 37 out of 6,000, 0.5%. But because of it, John Moses Browning's platform took the cake. And it's now the 1911, as we all know and love. Definitely clean off a little bit back here on this back plate with the firing pin. Again, dust buildup, things like that, especially if it's sitting in a holster. And really get itself kicked in there. I've got this pretty much clean. Again, we didn't shoot a lot of rounds. It's not terribly dirty. I say that as I have a giant stack of Q-tips that are all black. But digress. So what I do for lubrication on this is, again, metal on metal contact. I run it off the slide here on the back and off the slide on the opposite side. Just one little drop. And I let it kind of run. Again, this is just what I do. I'm not trying to be stingy or anything else like that, but Hoppy's 9 does add up, especially if you use a lot of it, which I try not to. Just a liberal amount. I could go another little drop. About halfway down this time, just to make sure we get it all nice and good. Yeah, I got a little excess now. I just kind of clean it up with the Q-tip. Then I'm going to insert my barrel. Again, yeah, let me do that again where you can see from the front. Okay, everything upside down, just so it holds in place. What I like to do is add the barrel shroud right over top so it fits in, and then swing it the opposite way right off the bat. Just keeps everything in line, makes it easy. And then you're gonna have kind of two ends on the spring, the open end and the one that's closed off, kind of like that. I like having that end into the rod. Shouldn't matter much. It's going to show kind of these two prongs. Those go with the barrel. And then I just line that up like that. And make sure this eyelet is also in the up position right here. And just rests like so. I'm going to leave this off for now. And I'm going to have this on standby. The barrel retention pin. I like to hold them upside down just to line everything up. I'm going to line this eyelet here with that eyelet there. Just like so. I'm going to kind of use this as a guide right there. I'm going to kind of get some catch there because again, hammer is Come on now. And then I'm going to flip it. There's a safety in there. That's what I'm catching on. Oh, the actual safety. I had the safety knob up. Make sure that is down all the way. That was my problem. I had it up. It still engages when the slide's off, especially when it slides off. Put that down, and then again, trying to show you guys as best as I can. I'm going to pull back. I'm going to line. You kind of get that where you can see. Right there. You kind of see there's the eyelet on the inside. Boom. And then what I do, for the sake of ease, is I take the tension pin, I slide it in. It's pretty easy. I just let it dangle. Some people say you shouldn't. I'm doing what's simple, guys. Because I'm then going to be able to retain the barrel in place. So then what you do, again, back to the same side here, don't go all the way back. I'm going to line up this hole here with the knob right there. Not the slide catch, but that there. I kind of back off a little bit here just so I'm not scratching up my side. I'll line it up there, and I'm going to press it in. Nice and easy. And then can run this forward. I still have the spring exposed. This is where it gets a little tight, but you want to run the spring cap on, press it all the way down, and then pushing underneath, using my body to kind of, I'm going to rotate this over. So it's just this holding barely. Push down, run it in line. After that, what I then do, I give a little extra lube. I've got my firing pinhole right here. I just give a little dab right inside that. That's it, just one. Nice and easy. Make sure it all is running smooth. And that is it, guys. Kind of simple. Toolless was the idea back when John Moses Browning built this up again for field stripping and field cleaning. In 1910, wasn't adopted by the U.S. military until 1911, hence why our lovely name, the M1911. This is an A1 platform because the original did not have a little bit of a, it had more of a ledge here, so they kind of shaved that down to allow for better finger entry into the trigger guard. Safety was pretty much the same. A lot of the original M1911s had a curved spring housing bed back here because they had a bar spring here. That's what pushes up on the hammer here. But they had it curved slightly because most shooters back then were big revolver guys using the M1907, 1917. I can't remember which one it was, but there are a lot of revolver guys. So it was something about grip angle that they were pushing down with it, and by having that rounded, it straightened it up. But yeah, the 1911. Again, one of the world's most used, issued. I mean, this saw military service for 72 years, and even then, kind of had a big resurgence with the GWAT and SF units around the world. It's still used today. It just does well. Gonna have a plethora of aftermarket parts and pieces and spare parts. Again, more than likely, something happens. You're either gonna find a 1911 or a Glock. It's gonna be what's out there, guys. So hopefully this helps you out in just some basic handgun cleaning, basic handgun lubing. Again, there's nothing scary about these as long as you have the knowledge behind it. Practice good gun safety, educate your kids on gun safety, gun handling. I take my kids to the range as often as I am able to, and they have zero problems with any of this. Other than that, I'm going to clean up my mess, and I'm going to get this ready to rock and roll, because I kind of like carrying this one. It's fun. So other than that, guys, take care. Educate yourselves on anything and everything you can think of to be a better human. Train hard. Stay fit. Out.